So I had a question come in from Somali who works with a nonprofit called Point of Love. And this is a question that I've answered like 3 times in the past week. So I thought I'd do it as a video. And then Somali, I'm going to send this to you. This video is for you. Her nonprofit organization is Point of Love. So pointoflove.org. I'll put the link below if you want to check out her website. And feel free to ask any questions below. Hit me back up on Clubhouse or Instagram, wherever you want to communicate, and we can chat about this more. The question is, how do you raise money for a nonprofit organization? And I've got to preface one part of this. How do you raise money for a small nonprofit organization? Because it's much different than, say, Goodwill, Red Cross, the Salvation Army. There's two totally different worlds. In the last 20 years, I've raised close to $160 million for nonprofits. And while that's a really big number when you dissect it and how it's done, it really comes down to the type of goods that are donated and the revenue that's generated from them. So we primarily have worked in what's called in-kind goods. So people donating books and clothes and cars and helping on the liquidation side of that, or on the front end marketing of getting them those donations. So our marketing helps them get the donations, our logistics helps them sell and process and receive the income from that. We have done a lot of cash donation programs, primarily with the Akron Children's Hospital, which is in our area, which is a very large organization. And the strategies that I'm going to talk about here in a second are really about how to generate cash for a small nonprofit, because you're probably not going to launch a successful book donation, car donation, or clothing donation campaign that's going to give you the capital that you need to grow. Cash donation from a digital marketing perspective typically requires a large brand as well. So you have to really shift the way that you think about how you're going to raise capital. There's 2 parts. It's how you tell the story of your organization and how you network in order to get the money that you need. So let's start with the second one. When you have a small nonprofit organization, it's probably not likely that you're going to successfully generate money from strangers at scale. The sooner you accept that fact, the easier it is to adapt to the strategies that do work. There isn't a social media campaign or a paid traffic campaign or a direct mail campaign that's going to get people to donate to an organization that they've never heard of. Brand awareness is critical. So there's a way to tell your story to build your brand awareness, but if you're looking to do money now, you don't need donors, you need champions. The most successful small nonprofits that I've seen raise capital and that we've worked with understand that they need to build a circle of champions, or what's sometimes called a board of directors. When you think about what your cause is, whether it is raising money for sick children, raising money for animals, raising money for the homeless, for a food bank, there are people in your community that are already involved in organizations that are doing similar things. Now, it's not a good idea to reach out to the president of the local food bank and ask them to join your board so they can help you raise money. It's probably not going to work. But if you go and look at board members of other nonprofit groups, and then you go and you research them and they appear to be successful entrepreneurs, they have successful businesses, maybe they come from old money, a lot of these individuals are hankering for board seats. And those board seats typically come, I'm not going to say with strings attached, but with the perceived responsibility of not only bringing their money to the table, but also bringing their friends to the table. So that small group that you build of 5 or 10 people that are your board of directors are actually your board of champions. You're looking to them to bring money to the organization through their network. And when you build that successfully, you will start to grow an organization. This is a great way to get from startup to 7 figures in annual fundraising. Even 6 figures of annual fundraising can really be a dynamic shift. So you've built your board of champions. They are the right people. They're embracing what it is that you're doing, and they're taking that message to their friends. Now, how do you corral all of this? This is really where events start to come in. And I realize that this video is being filmed January 15th, 2021. So we're still in COVID. The idea of events is a little far reaching, but in a normalized world, which will come eventually, this is where you start to have your charity auctions. Participated in a charity auction for St. Jude's, and we did $768,000 in one night. I've participated in charity auctions for Akron Children's Hospital, where they've generated $300,000, $500,000 around their Christmas tree festival. You have to build the pieces. You have to take time. You have to be patient. But in a year, you can really get the ball rolling on this. The other side of it is how you tell the story of your organization. What I often find that doesn't work is the individual that's founding the nonprofit wants to tell their story and why they started the nonprofit. That doesn't really resonate with too many people outside of their close family and friends that pat them on the back and say, good job, good job. And when you ask them for money, they're like, oh, I'm broke. What you need to do instead is tell the firsthand story of the people that you've helped, meaning they need to tell their story about how you helped them. Why was it that they needed help? What did you do to help them? And what does life look like afterwards? How did you get them from Hell Island to Paradise Island, as Kevin Nations would like to say? When you start to switch the story and you make it less about you and even less about the organization and more about the person being helped, you can start to create that content that can go on social media, that can go on YouTube, that can be sent to the writers at the local newspapers. The reason that I say local newspapers is the more local you think in your branding, the more successful you're going to be. People get these altruistic ideas about how big they're going to make this, and they want to run a national campaign, and they want to be in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. That's great, but you have like 3 seconds of attention there, and it doesn't capture anything. So let's lay out your next 12 months. So step one, I want you to go and create a list of 20 potential champions. And out of those 20 champions, I want you to craft a reach out letter. And I am going to say this, that a physical letter works better than email here. Now, if you mail a physical letter and 2 weeks later you haven't heard anything, follow up with an email. But that personal letter gives an element of touch, a good stationery. Make sure your website's nice and sharp, and make sure that you're ready to tell the story of someone that you've already helped, so that it's not an idea, it's building upon what you've already done. Send out that letter. Out of those 20, your goal is to get 5. Don't move on from this step until you get 5. Be very clear about what you're asking from them. Make sure that they understand what position they can take on the board. I apologize, my email keeps making noise. Make sure they understand what position they can bring to the table. So have some ideas on that. You can call things like partner of your charity organization, something that makes them feel a part of that. And then you can be very blunt with them. You're trying to get this nonprofit off the ground. You're looking for individuals that can help, and individuals that believe in the cause that might be willing to introduce you to their network in order to raise funds to help Bob and help Jill and help Larry or whoever it is that you want to help. Be very specific about where the money's going. You're going to go through that process. Now start thinking about the event that you're going to be able to do to invite all these people together and how you're going to make money. Is it a charity auction? Is it a donation gala where you overcharge for food? Is it a tour of a facility or something like that? Understand that COVID exists and you're going to have to be a little creative with this. Then start telling the story of the people that have been helped, or allow them to tell their story of how you helped them, and start to put that up on social media. Build a list of 10 or 20 different publications in your market, local newspapers, television stations, radio stations, that you can send this to. You need them to spread the message of what it is that you're doing. And that's not going to create a windfall of donations, but it is going to create some brand awareness. We have strategically tested, and at the multiple $1 million range in advertising campaigns, the difference between a known brand and a not known brand in a market. For example, taking a very well-known nonprofit out of Wisconsin and trying to advertise them in Ohio. It does not work, no matter how much good they create and how many stories they tell. If the brand doesn't exist in the mind of the individual, they're not likely to donate. People aren't going to donate to an organization that they've never heard of. So that message that you're creating, or that brand that you're creating, is something that you'll be able to position in front of people for years to come, and will create that long runway of success for your organization. Follow those steps and you're going to have the highest likelihood of success in the nonprofit space. As always, please subscribe to this channel. Take a look at the other videos if you got value in this video. feel free to comment below. I'll have my Clubhouse username down below if you want to follow me around in the rooms that I'm in, and also my Instagram if you want to send me a DM and talk a little bit more about raising money for your nonprofit organization. I'm always here to help. I appreciate you watching this video. Have a good day. Peace.